I'm just so confused. Like, y'all, I'm so confused, but I get it at the same time. She be on her shit. That's them queen vibes. Hi you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're a new subscriber, hello, welcome. And if you are not a subscriber, stay a while, check out my other videos. So today I'm going to be going on a meet and greet. As you all know, I am a pediatric home health nurse. So a lot of nurses aren't favorable to going on meet and greets, depending on how you look at it. I personally think they are so beneficial because once you have that meet and greet with the family, then boom, that gives you the green light to go and do fill-in shifts. If that permanent nurse is going on vacation, you could work those days if your availability permits that. Like, there's so many benefits to going on meet and greets. Yes, you don't get paid that much for it. Yes, it's like 2 to 4 hours, but again, it's very beneficial. You never know what the future could hold. So that is what I'm doing today. I did currently abruptly leave my old full-time case. It just wasn't compatible. Our relationship was no longer effective, but it happens when there's a nurse departing from a family or a family departing from a nurse. It's never a good thing. However, there's a bigger picture once that has to happen, if that's the only option. Make sense? I don't know, but yes, let's go get ready. So what is a meet and greet? A meet and greet is typically a big fat interview process for everyone involved in the patient's care. The family is looking at the nurse like, hey, do I trust this nurse enough to take care of my loved one? The nurse is looking at it like, is this a good fit? Is this something that I can sustain over time? Also, when I go to my meet and greets, I'm looking at things like communication styles, boundaries, expectations, how clean the family is, how they care for their home, how they treat their loved ones, and stuff like that. Now, after the meet and greet, it's not going to give you the full picture. Like, the meet and greets are essentially like a glimpse of what could be. You know what I'm saying? So there's like a probationary period, if that's what I call it, maybe like a week to 3 weeks, depending on what your hours are, to build that consistency, to build up to that 110% trust between you and the family, where all these things that were discussed in the meet and greet to come apparent, like during the probationary period. Because it's easy to say, yes, I expect my nurse to do X, Y, and Z, but you know, what is that really if you haven't had the chance to see the nurse doing those things in action, and vice versa? The family may expect one thing and I may say, yeah, I can do that, until like it's actually time to do those things. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing to say it, but the nurse and the family has to actually see like these things being done during the shift, if that makes sense. I don't know, I'm probably over explaining it. But another thing that I used to do for my meet and greets that I have stopped doing because it just doesn't work. I used to walk into these meet and greets all cheerful, all bubbly, until I realized if you walk in all cheerful and bubbly and just like you had a ton of coffee before you got here, they're going to expect that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to expect that all the time from you. And just go in there and be normal. Like, don't try to sell a dream. Be realistic, be logical, and be honest. Those are the only 3 things that the nurse should be in those meet and greets. Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you, oh, I can work 6 days a week during the meet and greet, because you don't know what you're walking into. Yes, you have a plan of care which is provided to the nurse by the agency, and all the plan of care is the patient on paper. You know what I'm saying? It's so easy to read these things, but once you see them in action, it can be a completely different story. And that is why, again, it's very important to be realistic. Don't go in there saying you can do things knowing that you can't. And if you do find yourself saying something that you cannot maintain, there's nothing but to take a simple call to the agency, relay the message, and then the agency will relay that message to the family. And then if the family is okay with that, then you know you proceed with the case. And that's it. I can say working with kids the families, they probably prefer like shorter nails. My nails are quite long, and that's just because my last full-time case was an adult and it really wasn't an issue. But you look good, you feel good. Working with the kiddos, I would just go ahead and get them trimmed down. I am going to go ahead and get them trimmed down a lot shorter than this tomorrow. I think my first shift with them is tomorrow anyway. So I am back from the meet and greet. Luckily, there was a nurse there. So the meet and greet kind of turned into a shadowing shift, and a shadow shift is exactly what it sounds like. I got to watch the nurse perform procedures, treatments, nutrition, medication administration, like whatever was needed for the patient. I feel confident. I'm very knowledgeable of what to do whenever it's time for me to perform the shift. Also, the caregiver was there as well. So that was like really great to get both of those points of views. And things like that, what to look out for when the vital signs are increased. This means that the patient responds well to this. Just all around very informative. There was a bit of disconnect when it came to expectations and communication. The caregiver handed me the cell phone with the contact app up, and I was like, usually I don't give out my number to the family. I just feel like any communication that needs to be had should go through the office and the agency. But it's in our policy as well. Like, nurses, we're not supposed to give out our personal numbers and things. Especially from the case that I removed myself from, I don't think it's a good idea. Like, coming from experience, not only what the policy is, I just don't think it's a good idea, because again, it can lead to like a slippery slope of things, and the family can take advantage of that. And the caregiver made that apparent when the comment of the communication hasn't always been the best from the family to the agency, and that the caregiver preferred to go through the nurses for scheduling and availability. Again, that's not supposed to be happening. And then the caregiver was also saying they like to get reports and pictures every few hours or just throughout the shift. Mind you, these are 12-hour shifts we're talking about. And mind you, the family has access to our documentation. And again, communication and expectations are very, what's the word? Like, they're very fragile topics to talk about with the family, because the family, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand where the family is coming from. However, I'm just trying to eliminate any more possible non-favorable outcomes for me. Like, it's so easy to take on other things that you're not responsible for, and it could just kind of blur the lines a bit. Like, yes, I'm in your home, but this is still a job. You know what I'm saying? And there's proper channels and protocols in place to protect the nurse and also the family. Like, I'm just so confused. Like, y'all, I'm so confused, but I get it at the same time. So luckily, I'm in the process of activating my old phone, and luckily it is activated. It's just acting a little wonky. So I gave her my backup phone, and then I don't even know why I did that, truthfully. Like, oh, Lord have mercy. But all in all, it was well. If you're a home health nurse, just follow the policy. You can never go wrong with following your policy, okay? Because I'm just like, ugh. But yes, that is going to be the conclusion of this video. I'm about to go sit by my pool and read a book, because that's just what I'm about to do. So yes, I will see you guys in my next one.